going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to another game review. Now, I'm in a different bit of a location in my room right now. Like I said, I'm going to be switching up a little bit how I do things with these reviews and with some of these videos because I want there to be more in my background, more than just, my bed area and my bookshelf, Also, let me know if you guys like the lighting, if you guys like this lighting better, or if you guys like this lighting a little bit better. This is more of like the overhead lighting encompassing with the ring light and with the light that's in the back with the computer and the monitor and all that kind of stuff. So you guys have to let me know which one do you like better. But for right now, I'm going to keep the other light off because I want it to be more of like soft and subtle and just, aesthetic. Hashtag. So, alright, there we go. There we go. All right, I need a sip of coffee for this because right now, she's not only thick, she is athletically skinny, thick, she's everything. Okay, this is, this review. So, Cyberpunk 2077, you guys. This review had to have been the most intense I've ever done since Death Stranding. It's crazy because I absolutely love this game. With every fiber of my being, with all of my soul, I love it. There's some things, they work though, we're gonna get into it. So what's it like to live forever? What's it like to taste immortality but have it snuffed out? Tell me, what's it like to be strong, unstoppable, mechanically enhanced, and yet so human? In a world where cyberware and prosthesis have completely taken over, the term guarding your humanity has become more prevalent now than it ever has. War, famine, and destructive chaos broke loose and has created an existence of organized mayhem and tainted realism. It all starts with V and an unclear storyline. So Cyberpunk 2077 was in production for close to 10 years. I think it's a little more now, but it was close to production for 10 years until it released. Saying that this game is an accomplishment is an understatement. The concept, the topics, the overall themes in this game are mind-bendingly tragic at points. Because in an altered universe where prostheses and body modifications have become the norm, would you take a dive to being less human and more robotic? It's an honest question that I ask, actually, because many of the themes and stories surrounding this game have to do with loss of humanity and a sort of trying to regain what was taken away from you, if you will. So Cyberpunk 2077 looks into several storylines. The first one being V stealing the relic, aka the biochip, from Arasaka Corporations, and then you have Johnny Silverhand's story, which closely ties in with the story of the relic, bringing in multiple plot lines, overarching storylines, and makes it confusing from the very beginning. As I said several times in this playthrough that I did for the game, the storyline sucks. Because it did in the very beginning. There was no consistency. There was no cohesive outline that made it clear and coherent until almost the end of the game. One plotline going into another one, making it confusing. I wasn't sure where it was going or what the aim truly was. Until about halfway, almost to when you get to when you meet with Hanako. Having an open world plus a linear plotline plus side quests and 5 different endings is a mind-numbing task that you want a very well thought out story. Because of the sheer magnitude of this game, and it having several delays, coupled with the ever so elegant neon yellow sign that gave me and every former a form of PTSD, and I don't say that lightly, we've now come to terms with the fact that any time we see this game, we're going in with a sense of trepidation, okay? Each delay felt like an excuse for a lot of people, but for those who don't know the gaming industry and how many times you have to revise, we do. Go back and forth between the writers, the producers, the developers, the motion graphics artists, everyone in between. It's a lot of work and overall emotionally draining. No story should ever, and I repeat, ever come with the crunch time. Be it that this game is almost a decade old from when it was created. Yes, they should have had a decent running and coherent storyline from the get-go. That way the player knows where point A is to point B is to point C is. Even with a decade-old story and a team that has been working tirelessly on a game that is, in a sense, revolutionary in its concept, and you'll see why in a moment, they should still be allowed the time needed to complete without worry or fear that they're either A, going to be fired, or B, going to have to fear reprimand or some sort. Or even the worst thing of all, fear judgment or other people's high expectations of them who are fans of the franchise because of The Witcher. You can't please everybody. You can come close though. Just saying. Just in this game are subjective. As we move on to the next part of the review, it is completely subjective. I want to point this out and I want to make it very, very, very clear. Speaking about not being able to please everyone, this game made some monumental hits and some disastrous misses in my eyes, and some extraordinary leaps as far as the game's story goes. Because when I will get into later, there are some interesting topics and some very hard-hitting topics that we will be discussing. Cyberpunk 2077 had bugs that literally killed the experience for a lot of people. It made it unable to play for them, which is so sad, and it's mournful to an extent, because you have this incredible concept and story. It can't get to it because of the freaking bugs. For those who were playing it on a PS4, it looked like it was running on a PS1, and it had me laughing, honestly, because I was like, this can't be Cyberpunk. This can't be. This has to be someone who is like, pulling a prank and modding something to look like, oh, the bugs are bad. But no, it was that. I feel like the heater always tries to chime in at the worst possible moment, What I will say is there was bugs. Did I experience them? Yes. Unfortunately, I did, but they weren't game-breaking bugs that made me go, oh my god, I have to refund this game. I experienced a total of 5 bugs within this game. One of them actually helped me defeat the final boss. I do have to say myself. It was fun. It was really interesting to see. If you watch the final part of my playthrough, you will see a very hilarious bug in which helped me defeat the final boss, and listen, I'm still, my head is like rolling over in laughter thinking about it right now. But there weren't any that were game-breaking for me, and that's the shitty part, because I wish I could transfer my experience of the game into other people so they can know just how amazing it really is, because there's so many people who are like the same as me, who thoroughly enjoyed this game so much, and I just wish the experience had been mutual for so many people. And if that were the case, then CD Projekt Red would have had such an amazing first day launch. They would have had an incredible first day launch, and that's the part that kills me. In my eyes, Cyberpunk 2077 is beautiful. It is created with love, and it made me feel the hard work and love that was put into it when I was playing the game. Many people who like to voice their grievances, annoyances, and entitled feelings towards this game. Some of it rightfully so, because it is a product that you are paying for with your hard-earned money. Others, not so much, I will say. When one purchases a game, the owner who put their hard-earned money into something that costs $60, $70, or even upwards of $100, the consumer has the right to voice their grievances and do what is right for them. I'm flailing my hands up here in a big freaking however when it goes into the territory of bullying or harassing and gaslighting the developers who are already stressed enough as it is about the game's very rocky release. It's not appropriate whatsoever. In my view, this game should have released on PC first, then on current gen consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and then on previous gen consoles, PS4, Xbox One, the whole shebang. So have a PC release first, because this game on PC, from what I've heard, is optimized beautifully. While there were so many delays, it was rushed. We all know this for a fact, okay? This should have released next year or even in 2023. Or hell, maybe even 2077. Now let's get into some philosophy and some psychology and store our soul for later. One of the best things in this game, by far, is the story. By the time we actually got to what the concept of the story was, of course, it was in the middle towards the end of the game, where we knew that the biochip was a danger to V, and it is our goal as a player to remove said biochip, #relic. We also know that Johnny's Silverhand's construct is in the chip as well, and it is slowly overwriting V's construct, her memory, her thoughts, her entire program. When V was shot, it triggered a resurrection nanotech, which basically, through this, we had Silverhand's construct overriding V's. You with me so far? Why is Silverhand in V's mind? Why? Where is Silverhand? Why is he here? Why is he there? Why is he anywhere, really? To make a very complex storyline somewhat consistent and simplified, Johnny Silverhand's girlfriend, Alt Cunningham, created Arasaka's version of the Soul Killer, the one that we see in the game, which would house all souls in a digital fortress known as Makoshi. By the year 2077, a program called Secure Your Soul was put into place, where you could literally have a written digital copy of your mind put into the human brain, hence why you need the relic. The need for a relic arose because you had to store it somewhere, right? You needed a safe way basically to store all of these different souls and personalities in one location without them getting corrupted or damaged. Here's the fun part where the psychology comes into play. Would it be possible in the future to store your personality? I really want to see if it might be possible, because your essence, your you-ness, it wouldn't be in that sense. Your individualness, what makes you you, that can't be transferred over into a program and then downloaded onto a USB. It's not possible. We already know what can be done with biomechanical engineering, such as prostheses. Why not take it a step further and cheat death entirely? There's a problem with that, kid. There's a really big problem. The soul is basically an incorporeal part of the human, and it cannot be downloaded like a program. Like I previously said, you can't download it into USB and transfer it over, into another robot. It's impossible. You and your you-ness, in a sense, is one use only. Okay? You are unique. You are special edition. Replicating that is very difficult, damn near impossible. Google recently had secured a patent for robot personality development, which would basically state that you could house the personality of not only living people, but you could house the personalities of the dead. I don't know where the world of tech, in particular biotech, is headed, but I'm intrigued and slightly nervous and terrified, to say the least. I doubt it would be like Cyberpunk, where you literally sit on a table and your personality is housed in a containment software of sorts, just waiting to be used and downloaded. I highly doubt it's going to be like that. But so let's go into something where I have to talk about it. It's unavoidable, and it's something where if I don't talk about it, it would be just an incredible disservice to those that it affects. So this game is quite binary, isn't it? For a world that prides itself on being unique and different, the gender norms are very split in the traditional male is aggressive and female is tough yet soft, kind of woke without being woke, really. You have this kind of principle of where you'll have the brutish females in this video game, but you only see them in other life paths, not in Corpo, oddly enough. Now, when the gender role discussion comes into play, I kind of feel like the creators of this game are all in, they're happy to represent the LGBTQ plus community. They're, on Twitter and social media platforms. But when it comes to the game itself, and when it comes to actually putting in the work and the research to implement the people who are in the LGBTQ plus community, it's little to nowhere found in this game. Unless you choose yourself to be transgender or gay or bi or anything of your choosing, that's it. You are what you choose. But you don't really see it in any of the NPCs. What I saw besides a poster, there were no people who identified as transgender in this game at all, which is sad. The same could be said for autistic persons. There is a suggestion in this game that people who have autism can be fixed, which we all know is not true. The autism spectrum is what I like to call another branch of a person's personality. I hate calling it a disorder. Okay, I know that's classically what it's termed and what it's coined as, but I hate calling it a disorder. I really don't think of it that way. I know it's classically deemed as such, but someone with autism is no different from, you or myself. There is also a suggestion that cyberware in this game can help one overcome their autism, which is lunacy to me as well. Autism is something that you are born with, not something that can magically, you can magically heal from a wound that you got whenever you fell off your bicycle or something. Autism isn't something that you can cure. It's something that someone is born with. It's like saying, let me cure your homosexuality, or let me cure what you were born with. It doesn't happen. It's not possible. You can't cure someone's DNA. It doesn't work like that, and the game's ignorance is really showing in this case. You cannot cure what is a part of your DNA. You cannot cure what is you. Okay? I don't care what anybody says in that regard. You cannot cure what is you. So let's discuss taking your life into your own hands and my final thoughts. So this game will forever be one of my personal favorites. There are a lot of side quests that I didn't go into. There are a lot of things that I didn't even touch yet in the game, and I'm looking forward to going more into it because I am an achievement hunter and it is my goal to get plat and 100% on this game. Yes, there is a lot of work that needs to be done as far as representation of the LGBTQ plus community goes, and as far as the topic of autism goes, because I feel like those two subjects in the game, the developers really need to like hone in and discuss and collaborate with people who are in the LGBTQ plus community and who do have autism. That way is better and more of a well-rounded topic in the game. Whenever you try to incorporate, you know, the LGBTQ plus community and people who are on the autism spectrum, you have to look at it in a sense of where, okay, they can fix stuff. They can go through the game and they can fix stuff, but it'll take patches, it'll take a willingness to learn, some education, and maybe even a DLC. Maybe to flesh out some of the story points, who knows, winkety wink wink. The reason why I found this game incredible was the story. I mean, you know, being able to house your soul, secure your soul program. I mean, that just, it's so like, it's so enticing and brain tingling to me. I just absolutely love it. I mean, the fact that they were able to, you know, come up with this kind of story and these kinds of characters in such a range, I love it. I love it so much. The concept of storing your soul in a Makoshi, which is basically an electronic library, then add the philosophy behind it of what that could mean for the human race, as well as the character V, on top of trying to be as human as possible, going through a range of emotions just to get by everyday life. You know, we are V. We are every human searching for a purpose. Whether it means to live a quiet life or die in a blaze of glory, we're all looking for that one thing that makes our journey a unique one. But you guys, that is it for me for this review. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all are digging this kind of new setup. I have to keep track of the back because I don't want this the light to be dimmed on here. I want to keep it on, and I'm noticing that it's going off all the time. The background is annoying the crap out of me. It's the little things that annoy me. But you guys, that was it for today's review. The next review that's going to be coming out is To the Moon. It's a little bit of an older game, but I played it. I fell in love with it. I cried. I sobbed. There's emotionally tear-jerking moments, and I absolutely loved it. So that will be the review that's coming out next Wednesday, and I'm really excited about that. So if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And stay casually nerdy, you guys. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.